welcome back to the Voices of VSA podcast, where we give you an insight on what this year's Night in Saigon 20 show is all about. My name is Trish Doe, and I'm this year's marketing director.
My name is Jennifer Faye, and I'm your co-host.
And in today's episode, it is all about our performer stories. And if you haven't already, check out our last episode with Nikki Vu, Michael Vu, and Jesse Wong to hear all about the behind the scenes of choreographers.
In today's episode, we will be hearing the personal stories of previous individual performers and past executive board members and how they participated in Night in Saigon. But before we do that, I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Chris Wright. I'm a fifth-year graphic design major, and I'm this year's EVP.
Hi, I'm Alvia. I am a third year. I was previously secretary and Red On in Lion and Modern Dance.
I'm Tawi Pham. I'm a second year risk management and insurance major, and I'm this year's sponsorship director.
So to start this podcast episode off, we're going to ask kind of like an icebreaker question. So can each of you guys share a bit about your journey and how you became involved in Night in Saigon? Starting off with Chris.
So I actually got involved in Night in Saigon back in high school. One of my relatives was kind of on board at the time. And so I ended up coming here during one of our shows and watching it and really kind of being shocked about how everybody kind of came together to create this show. And that's how I first got introduced into VSA. And then when I came into college, I started off at KSU, also going to NIS. And then I transferred here in the fall of 2020. And I decided to go on to marketing team. So I helped out during the COVID NIS. And then for the next year, I also did marketing and then just kind of being a part of NIS as best as possible. And then last year I was Lion Dance, so that was my contributions.
Wow, seems like you've done a lot in VSA so far in the past 5 years. Really well. What about you, Alvia?
I was kind of been into like acting and production stuff like for a very long time. Like I was in like drama clubs in high school. I did a lot of school plays. I did like short films, and I did like television show like Please No One to get on the internet. But yeah, so I kind of go to UGA and I didn't really know anyone, so I was very excited to kind of like eager to put myself out there. I want to like meeting people, be a part of the community, be a part of like making something. So and then I know about NIS and I know that Skit was auditioning, so I signed myself up.
Me and Alvia were actually, we were both freshmen at the time, and we were on the Skip cast.
Yeah,
for Night in Saigon 18.
Oh, 18.
Yeah, that was so much fun. No, it really was, but that kind of introduced me into Night in Saigon and what it was really about. And so that led me to want to become a director.
For me, I would have to say that even before I came to UGA, I definitely wanted to be a part of VSA. It was actually one of the reasons why I ended up going to UGA to begin with. I've been going to a few NISs since I was in high school. I went to NIS 15 and also NIS 16. And for me, it's just something magical that like so many people could come together and create something so beautiful. I've been a traditional dancer, specifically in Buddhist temple dance, since I was 4. So being able to be part of like traditional dance now and kind of just like seeing the development of how like modern props like long fans, short fans, and hats kind of just like include the traditional aspects of dance was really cool. So I don't know, just like for me, I've always wanted to be a part of NIS ever since I was in high school, and that's part of the reason why I'm here now.
That's awesome. It's kind of amazing how both of you guys knew what NIS was all the way from high school. Because, I think a lot of people that I talk to now, they're saying how the reason why they decided to go to UGA was because of the VSA community here, which I think is really amazing. Because I think the Viet community at UGA is really tight-knit and like we all know each other, which is really great.
And what made you like want to, I know like some of you guys like had a snippet, but like what was like your initial impression like once you actually got into VSA and like started NIS?
One more time?
Like, I know like you already like started off like what made you want to join, but like what was your initial impression like once you're already in VSA and like your initial impression of like being a part of NIS?
My initial impression was through marketing. I think that like meeting with my director and kind of talking with them, meeting with other directors and meeting with other people that was working at the time. We were all online and like that was kind of our workflow, but like we did Zoom meetings in order to kind of get to know each other a little bit better. And I think that collaborative effort, even though we weren't able to meet in person, we kind of got past that as best as we could to try to create a best NIS that we possibly could, given the limitations that we had. So I think that collaborative aspect is kind of what I really took away from being a part of NIS that year. That and just kind of how much work everybody put in, kind of seeing the fruits of the labor that everybody like really wanted to make happen. There were a lot of passionate people that were really pushing for NIS, and like to be a part of something like that was like a really valuable experience for me.
I think what's so cool was that was NAS 17, correct? You did it.
I don't remember.
Because I remember there was an animated skit,
Yeah, it was an animated.
and you were the ones that made the little cover photos on the Instagram page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was really cool to see. I was a senior in high school, and that was when I first got like introduced into NIS, and I watched the entire skit do like the YouTube live, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. I really want to be part of NIS next year. So.
Well, for me, I mean, as I was saying, like, I didn't really know anyone, so I wanted to be, find my people, be part of community. So I joined VSA, like, I jumped straight into, like, a leadership position. I think I was culture chair, and I was, like, a baby freshman. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was saying that I was greeted with, like, a lot of welcoming people. Like, Mandy, she was my overseeing member. She was always open to any idea I had. She was always open to helping me. Then, like, Nina, like, she was also one before. She approached me after, coffee hour, then we became friends, and she drove me to Duluth to get fun. But all is to say that I just always been greeted with like very warm and welcoming vibe, and I know that like some people said that like they're kind of scared BSN because it was like clicky and stuff like that, and it's a statement that I cannot say that I've never seen that, I've never experienced that, but I think you have the best experience if you treat BSN like a club. So you come open-minded, be genuine, put yourself out there, and put in the effort. And if there'll be people you vibe with, there'll be people you don't. And if you find your people, hang on to them, and that's how you got have the best time.
That's a good way of putting it.
For me personally, I had actually known a few people in VSA before I initially came here. Like Jessica, our current IVP, actually helped me tour around when I was a senior in high school. So it was like I got to know like her experiences in VSA already, and I knew that it was something that I wanted to join. Basically, as soon as I got here. And for me, I do have to say that I was definitely nervous coming into this as well, just because it's like I didn't have like many Viet friends at my school. I was the only Viet girl in my grade in high school in general. And basically just like being able to be in VSA kind of helped me step out of my comfort zone and show me that like it's okay to like not know anyone sometimes, because like a lot of my friends in VSA were like upperclassmen, so I wanted to like get to know people who were also like in my age group as well. So with becoming like being involved in NIS, like I feel like that cliquey aspect of VSA kind of disappears once you come into NIS, because you're starting to work closely with so many different people. Like I was in traditional hats with Jennifer last year, and there were so many seniors that left, like Maya and JC, and I miss them so much. I still talk to them. So it's like I kind of felt like I managed to find a family inside of NIS.
I think like speaking like I had no friends going to VSA, and like I was very like scared just because like everyone was like, oh, it's like so cliquey, and I was like, oh, but I kind of like want to find people because I didn't know anyone at UGA at the time, or like wasn't really with the right people at the time. So then like joining marketing, I got really close with like Jennifer Zhu, which was last year's marketing director, and then Sylvia, she really taught me a lot. And then like obviously last year's traditional group, I loved him so much.
She's always your fan.
Yeah.
I also forgot to mention for sponsorship, but for sponsorship committee, I was actually the only person. I was technically the committee because it was just me and the two directors, Kathy and Gam. So it was like I got to like kind of see like how they did stuff, and that also inspired me to be a sponsorship director as well, and kind of how like I wanted things to be in my committee this year. So it definitely helped me out in like mentoring as well. So
Yeah.
special shout out to them.
Oh. Okay, so on to the next question. Reflecting on your time with Nine Saigon, Can you share a memorable moment from one of your performances that holds a special significance for you?
So I guess last year, in terms of me being the Olympia, that was a really fun experience. Kind of leading up for during Hell Week, just constantly jumping around, constantly moving your to try to make a best performance for the rest of our lines. And then when it all kind of came together and we were able to, because we went out into the crowd and
Oh, we have the Lisi, right?
yeah. We went out to the crowd and like me being able to kind of come up, interact with a bunch of people. They had no idea what was going on. I was having a fun time just like messing with them. So that was a really enjoyable experience for me.
I think I feel like there's a lot of like memories that comes with it, but I think it's just being in it, like putting the effort in, like being with the team. I was in skit, so seeing everyone putting the effort in, seeing everyone rehearse, seeing everyone, care from like the little details of like, oh, like what are we wearing? Like the hair has to be like that. And then seeing it all came like into reality. It was it's very moving, it's very special. And even like my second year, I wasn't in skit anymore, but I was an overseeing member, so I just kind of helped on the background. But to just see that kind of relive and become reality, it's just very fun in general.
Yeah, I remember our freshman year when we were in skit, we would have rehearsals like almost like every day in January, and it was so crazy seeing how close we got during that little time. Like, like this is my group of people, and like it's just really nice.
We're spending a lot of time.
Yeah,
So I think for like community that are like small, like lions or like skit, we really got to like see each other and like, hear each other's voices every day.
Yeah,
So that was fun.
Yeah, we definitely got to build a community within each other. I think that the smaller group allowed us to really get to know each other a lot better.
yeah, definitely.
My memory specifically actually has to do with like having like a family within a small group setting as well. During like Hell Week or like the specific time during NIS where like things start to pick up like right before that week. I have a specific memory of me, Jennifer, Maya, and Patricia being in, I think it was Patricia's car, maybe Maya's. But we were just like talking, like waiting for everyone else to practice, because like traditional practice, they do it all in one go. So you don't know when you're going to be called up. So we were there for like 3 hours, basically every single day that entire week.
Yeah.
And I just remember being able to like talk and bond with each other and just like getting to know each other more as like a family. So that was something that I really appreciated, because that was one of the biggest aspects that I was looking forward to in college.
And are you so close to those people now?
Very much so. Like me and Maya talk a lot. Because she's an MIS major. So when she had graduated, like I was asking her a lot for advice regarding business. Me and Jennifer hang out a lot, considering the fact that she's sitting across from me.
Yeah.
And then Patricia is my cousin's roommate, so I also see her a lot too.
Okay.
Yeah, I still talk to Patricia like really often. And like she'll respond to my photos, and I'll respond to her photos. Like she dyed her hair ginger, and I'm like,
I saw her. I was like, why is she giving what's her name? Yunjin from the Seraphim? I was like, oh my gosh, she's eating it up. Like,
I know. I really like miss those times where it's like you just like kind of talk and like get to know each other, because like during like those 1 hour group practices we're still like getting to know each other, and then during like Hell Week in January it was just like we really like bonded. I feel like it's a connection that like I'll never really forget in college, and just like for a while.
Yeah.
And then moving on to like kind of like continuing on with like building friendships, like how do you think it's grown with like helping you build stronger relationships with people, or kind of like growing closer to VSA like as a club? What do you
I think that NIS allowed me to take a leap of faith, I guess. Really pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone, meet new people. That was kind of one of the things that I struggled with in high school. Is like I wasn't really comfortable with myself. I wasn't really comfortable with like meeting new people and kind of getting to know people. But coming into college and coming into NIS, where there's just so many different people, and the opportunity to just get to know them was something that I really just wanted to do. Remember the world question again?
just kind of like how have you like how has NIS helped you grow stronger relationships with new people, or kind of like how has it grown you closer to the club?
Oh, okay. So I was also like really involved with the previous board, like Sylvia, Donald, and all of them. So it kind of got me like being a part of NIS got me closer to them, being in the same space where I went to Cell and all the other VSA events that are around the same time. That allowed for me to get closer with those people, and then I think that NIS really started my journey with VSA. It's the reason why I'm a part of the Southeast and a part of UNASA. And I also the reason why I began that journey, because it allowed for me to say, I want to do more. And when, for me, it's like, what's the next thing? And so that just continued my involvement. And here I am, Maui DG.
Yeah, I know you have a really special place for UVSA, because I know the entire semester you've been advocating for people to go to Selk, and I mean, it was a great turnout. So do you have anything to say to people who might be interested in going to Selk next year?
So guys, Selk is our South. So UJ is a part of a bigger organization called USACE. Each year we have 2 events. In the fall we have Selk, the Southeast Leadership Camp. This is where you'll be able to be meet new people, you'll be put into families, get to know them. Along with that, we'll have workshops, and I think generally speaking, it's a really great experience. There's a lot of people that went this year. I really enjoyed it. It's really a place for you to just get away and get to know new people and really just be vulnerable with different experiences that you wouldn't normally have. I find that Selk is a very special thing. I would never trade that experience for anything else because it was very unique, and I met a lot of great people through it. A lot of people that I still talk to today. So if you guys are interested, I highly recommend that you come out, try it next year. It's definitely worth your time. So.
Yeah, we can vouch for that too, because I think
All of us have gone at some point. It was so funny. Like my South family group chat was actually blowing up last night because like half of them are here for slander. So
No, it's so
all the people are like, oh my god, I'm in Georgia, and I was like, why? And they're like, oh, we're going to slander, and I was like,
They always come to Georgia when there's like a rain.
No, I still love VSU. We definitely have like a very strong community. Like my South family went to NNS, and I didn't know. We were all taking pictures. We were all hyping each other up.
No, yeah, like my entire family was like, see y'all at NAS, and I'm like, oh.
no, I'm so excited. Yeah. Too. Like they were all like, when do tickets drop? Like, let me know. Like
They were calling me up. They were blowing up my phone. Like, do you have an extra ticket? Do you have an extra ticket?
No,
So
yeah.
I could get tickets.
Yeah.
It's so nice, like knowing that, like, oh, I take pride in my school because like we have NAS, and then people come down here to watch us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's really nice. Okay, so on to the next question. What do you love most about being a performer in Night Saigon, or just being a part of VSA in general? And you know, what's your favorite aspect about it?
You can start that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have to say for me, one of my favorite aspects, honestly, emphasizing family like over and over again. Just being able to find a community where you feel so welcome and like easy to be vulnerable with. Like I feel like I opened up a lot to my dance group specifically because we had so many moments where we were just able to like talk and bond. So like that was just something that was really important for me, especially coming in as a freshman who like didn't really know anyone outside of VSA, but still being able to find that family inside of VSA that wasn't necessarily like the cliquey VSA that I had gotten to know from like other people. So I feel like NIS was very refreshing for me. And like Chris, it basically started like my whole journey going to VSA anyways, because I don't think I would have ended up being involved in sponsorship or like Selk or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or even ACE, like had I done NIS.
Yeah.
So definitely something that's just an amazing program of ours.
Yeah, I definitely agree with her. But as she talked about the group, I'm kind of talking about the self. Like I think joining VSA and NS definitely helped me with my confidence and like going out of my comfort zone. I kid you not. So this is funny, but is this first skit that I was in, the first NS that I was on stage. It was my first scene. I panicked. I forgot my line, and I think I looked at the audience and I said, "Oh God!" Like high school me, like I would have just like walk out. Like I'll see you guys at graduation. You would never see my face ever again. But yeah, I lived through it. It was fine. Like, it was all great, and I had a great time. And so I feel like from that, it really helped me make like bolder choices of like what I want to do, where I see myself, what I what I want to learn. So like, I saw lion, I said I want to learn lion drama, so I signed up for that. I saw modern, and I said I never danced before. I want to learn how to dance, and I was able to like put that like myself down, myself like insecurity, like oh my god, I'm gonna look like a worm on stage, like to the side, and like sign myself up and know that like I have supportive people around me, I have the resources, I'm gonna put in effort, and I'm gonna have a good time. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely say like community is my biggest thing. I think that the friends that I've made here and relationships that I'm going to take with me for a very long time. And like people that I've met coming into this year or coming into like college in general, it's just like very special to me. Kind of getting into like dance, I've been taking that with the faith and trying to like go out there because I've never done line dance before. And I never like thought I would even end up in a dance because I don't dance very well. I don't dance very well. So, but being able to express myself in that way was extremely fun. And I think that's just an experience that everyone should try. Just get out of your comfort zone, try something new.
Yeah, the accidental dancers.
No, me too. I cannot dance. Like
Oh,
I
you
danced
can?
a
You
robot.
can? I see you.
But I went to the workshop last year, and that's how I kind of like chose to join traditional. Because like it took me forever to like learn how to use the hat, like the rotation. I was like, oh my god, I cannot do this. It's
Yeah.
like too hard.
I have no rhythm either, but
Yeah.
To be fair, that was like how that as I was saying, that's how my mindset changed from like moving from like first year NIS to second year NIS. I also went to the first traditional
Yeah.
dance workshop, and I could not catch up anything, so I decided not to do it.
oh,
And yeah, but then like I feel like
It's okay though, because like I feel like they take it slow for a lot of people too, because they understand that everyone's a beginner.
yeah.
so it's kind of like first year I was scared out a little bit, but after joining NIS the first year, I know that like second year if I cannot catch up, I know there will be support people around me to help me.
Yeah.
So I decided to join. I still think I'm a bad dancer, but I decided to join, so that's like a leap.
Yeah, and honestly, even if like you're bad, like it's not like someone's gonna pay attention to you. It's like there's like six people dancing, so
It's about having a good time.
yeah, that's what NS is all about.
Looking back at different Night in Saigon shows, do you have a favorite theme or performance that stands out to you, and what made it special?
I actually, the one performance I look back on is NIS 15 in modern dance.
Stop! I was gonna say that.
Yeah, modern dance is so hard.
Like what was the thinking?
I don't remember the thing, but
It might have been Seize the Moment or
Oh,
something.
that's
Seize the
a good one.
Moment?
Well, was it the guy with the purple hair you
Yeah.
were talking about? I think his name was Justin.
Yeah.
I saw like High School Musical coded like see the moment.
Yeah, no, it was so great. But I actually got a T-shirt. I won the gift basket.
Oh, you
was crazy, man.
Yeah, I won the gift basket, so I have the T-shirt. So,
Wow.
but yeah, no, that
So it was modern dance that made it for you.
Yeah, I really enjoy modern dance. Unfortunately, I can't dance. I think that is something that I will try to get into like post college when I have a little bit more free time, because I do want to learn how to dance. I just struggle with rhythm and a lot of other stuff. But that modern dance was like really exciting for me. It's just like I enjoy the freedom of it. So
Do you remember what song it was? Nope.
I just remember that I was very excited.
Oh, what year were you in high school?
I think I was either a junior or a senior. Probably.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was a freshman, so
Yeah.
you were probably like. I think she was probably either.
I think I was a
or
junior.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Because I remember being a freshman.
Yeah.
With
I was a
advanced
junior.
freshman in high school? What about you?
Oh, maybe I'll ask you like you talk, because I have only been to two NIS, so I don't really like know too much to like talk about like, oh, what's my favorite, but
I so far, you know.
yeah, but I think that like I've always like very impressed by like traditional dance. Just how like well organized it is, how well like choreographed
Choreographed.
Choreographed.
it is, and like seeing like so many like little things, like the music picking is always like really nice. So, and it's a great way to like showcase like our own like unique like culture too. So I'm always very impressed. Good job.
No, yeah.
I just want to add something. So at UNAFSA, which is the national version, where all of our
Always saying something about you now.
This is actually the reason why this is very impressive. So each year they give out awards for best shows, through
We
all-
won.
Yeah.
We won last year.
And then last, like, for the
Not
previous,
spoiling what you
All of us
So-
do those. Sorry.
so for the previous NIS, we won Best Traditional Choreography and Best Culture Show.
As we should.
Yeah.
So last year 8.
Our dance plays so hard, guys. Oh my gosh. You should all watch it.
No, literally during Hell Weeks. I think it was Donald. He made us stay back like an hour extra after practice time to make sure we got it perfect. And if like one person messed up, we had to stay back. That was so crazy. No, but like it ate off the dance. Like we always made it.
No, I remember that because it was like me and Jennifer were in the hat dance, so we started out every single dance.
Uh-huh.
So like once we were done, we just leave. I felt bad because like everyone else had to stay back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I felt bad for modern because they had to wait for traditionals to finish and then they would come.
Yeah, no, I feel like because it would be like 3 hours of traditional, and then it'd be like 11 p.m. and then modern would be like, yeah, I'm finally super practice. Speaking about the question though, my favorite NIS was either 15 or 16 as well. 15 because of the modern dance. I definitely remember, I think his name was Justin because I swear trying to find him like afterwards because I was like, that man dances really good. Like the song choice was crazy. Even the ones where Kenny Tran was in it. I vividly remember this one song. I think it was a Beyonce song, and he like broke into a split. That might have been like
That's Kenny. That is
Yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah.
That is Kenny.
No,
you know
I-
what's crazy? Jesse Wong is actually incorporating that Beyonce song into this year's NIS.
yeah, no, it like I remember seeing that move because I talked to Kenny on Sunday because he also goes to my temple.
Oh,
So it was like I told him I was like I vividly remember that moment. I don't even know if I was actually there, but that was crazy. And it was like also I remember seeing Sylvia. Sylvia was on skit. I think NIS 16. She was wearing like
Was that
really dark
pink?
makeup. Yeah.
the braids. And stuff.
I was like, damn, I've never seen her like this. But I would have to say that like many of the NISs, I feel like each one of them is special in their own ways. So I'm very excited for NIS 20 and how it's like it's our 20th anniversary, so we're gonna make it big. We're gonna make it grand.
Incorporating kind of like all the really popular themes together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that.
NIS along the way.
Yes. Okay, so I have one last question for you guys, and then Jennifer has one last question before we wrap things up. Over the years, how has your participation evolved? And are there any surprising twists or changes you've made that you didn't initially anticipate? So, for example, Alvia, you were previously like a skit member, and then you went to become a secretary. You know, Tommy, you were a traditional dance, and then you went to become the sponsorship director, and Chris, you were doing everything. So, I don't even want to start. So, how has it evolved?
So I mean, in starting off, like for my first, like in high school and then my first like freshman year, I was just an attendee. And then kind of getting into the next year, I wanted to be more than just an attendee. I wanted to involve myself a little bit. So that's the reason why I joined marketing, because I have a lot of graphic design experience. And I know that my skills were applicable to that. And then as I kind of went forward, I got more involved outside of UGA, actually. I was more involved in the Southeast and nationally. I can say that's sort of what I still do, but like not really, because I'm also very involved here as well. Now, kind of getting into my position. So last year I was just like regular member, didn't do anything other than like lion dance. That was my participation. But coming into this year, I was saying that like because of my involvement in the Southeast, I really wanted to push that a little bit further. So I decided that like EVP was something that I wanted to try. I actually almost didn't do it because I was going through like periods of like heavy anxiety. So like it was like pretty bad like right before elections, and something that like really pushed me to do it was Sylvia. I'm like really grateful for Sylvia because she really like listened to me and really like urged me to like, you know, take that step, make sure that like you can do it. You said that like, and I think that allowed me to kind of come in, give my speech, and be elected, and have a great year. Just make sure that everybody was able to come out this year and have a great time. So it's a very special place for me. I think this year was very gratifying, and that's kind of how I look at it as I wrap up my final year at UGA. It's like, what have I done, and who what experiences can they share now that like what experience did I give them so that they can share with others. So
I think like surprising. Probably not surprising, but definitely like what I want to do, like where I see myself and what I want to learn definitely changed. Like when I was a freshman, like I know that like I wanted to do something that I was a little bit more familiar, so I joined Skit. I know that I want to grow myself as like a leader, like learn leadership skill and learn how to like manage my time as like an e-board member too. So I was culture chair and I was encouraged to be e-board. And then as like, you know, third year and fourth year coming up, I know that like I might have no the chance to have the time to like fully commit to an e-board member position. So I think more of like, well, what do I want to learn? And I want to learn to wine job. I want to learn to dance. I told David that like I might join Nia next year because I want to learn how to, you know, take like photos and learn how to edit.
Yeah.
And then I will tell you too. I also kind of like think about joining marketing too because I really want to like up my graphic design game.
Yes.
So it's more like I like where I was, and I think I needed to be where I was, and I like where I am now, and I like what I'm doing now, and I'm really grateful that like BSA have the resources and have the people for me to do that and to kind of expand my skills in my horizons.
For me specifically, I think I also stuck with more like things that I was familiar with as well. Like I have grown up to be a dancer, so I knew automatically that I wanted to do traditional. As for sponsorship, it wasn't like I wasn't necessarily like expecting that I wanted to be sponsorship director necessarily.
Yeah. No one goes to the media like, I want to be a sponsorship director.
Yeah, because like now that I'm like sitting here and after I sent like 50 emails this morning, I'm like, it's a lot harder than I genuinely thought it was because it's like, I feel like sponsorship along with like many of the other committees is like one of the backbones that makes NIS happen just because like the funding and the budgeting and everything that goes into it. It's just like all the financial stuff. And I feel like it's such an easy aspect to overlook in NIS. So I didn't really think that it was like all that much, but I'm very grateful for my experience in sponsorship because I feel like it gives me a chance to also connect back with the Vietnamese community as well because we have so many local businesses that basically like are like they're all immigrants. Like everyone has like built their way up, and I feel like that's something very special. And I feel like that's something that I also want to share with the rest of BSA as well. So growing into like being sponsorship director with like eBoard and everything now, I feel very encouraged to like step up more next year. So I definitely look forward to like trying out for an eBoard position.
Whisper. I'll tell you later.
I don't know who's competing.
House over there.
I think like for me too, like joining PSA just kind of like is a way to like, I don't know, grow. Like I didn't really intend on dancing. Like I can't dance. Like the first thought was like, okay, I'm not gonna dance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I went to a workshop and then I kind of got into it. And I was like, oh, okay, I can make new friends. And then I knew I wanted to join marketing at that GBM because Jennifer's like slide was so beautiful. And I was like, I have so much to learn. So I was like, okay, like, she's super nice. She's really good at graphic design. And I want to like kind of like help and like learn more from her. So I was like, okay, I'll join. And she's so sweet. Her and Sylvia led me through like all their tips and tricks. And so I feel like it was a really good experience. And I feel like building those great connections with those two was really good too. Rewarding.
I think it's definitely during Hell Week when I was watching Modern Dance. I'm like, man, I'm so jealous. Like, I should have joined. But, you know, my time has passed for Modern. So,
You do it next year.
Yeah, you could do it next year.
Next year.
the last year, maybe. Yeah.
Also, like potential marketing director.
Oh, she's been in it for 2 years already.
Maybe PR. Maybe PR.
Time is up. But my last question to you guys is if you had any advice for anyone considering joining NIS, what would you want to give?
Take that. It's a theme that we
Look
always
through
talk
the
about.
lens and tell me.
A theme that we've always talked about, and you kind of heard it multiple times in the series. We decided to take that chance. We decided that we felt that we needed to get out of our comfort zone and get that opportunity to meet new people. So don't stop yourself by not knowing things and not being necessarily comfortable. That's okay. You'll learn in the process. So definitely put yourself out there, and I think the fruits of your labor will show up.
Sounds like a dad.
Yeah.
Little motivational.
All right, Alvia.
turn.
So there's two things I kind of want to touch on. So first, like obviously, I would say that be confident, put yourself out there because of two things. First of all, the people you meet, and kind of going back to what I was saying, like it's okay if you like there's some people you don't vibe with. It's okay if there are people you're gonna vibe with, but like for example for me, like most of like my closest friends are not from music. However, like the people however, like all the people that I've met, like you guys, like my keyboard member, like we bond a lot and we grow to be very close, and those are like the people that like the relationship that you're gonna remember like for the rest of your life, and then relationship that you're gonna treasure it. So first of all, people, and second of all, think of it as like a chance that I feel like it's hard to come across, like not even in college, but like in life, to learn new skill, to like be in like a community that that have like the most supportive people, non-judgmental people. Like, you know, I learned how to dance, I learned how to lion drum, I want to learn like so many new things, and I know that there's nothing better than to do it now by joining like committees, because I know that these are the people that will support me, they won't judge me, they will teach me. And so yeah, think of it as like resources that you're not gonna have for a very long time. It's only 4 years of college. So yeah, so that's my thing. Put yourself out there and trust me, you're gonna have a good time.
Yep. I should believe I have to follow on those two. I would have to say, like, for me, like, my dad has always told me that college is the best time of your life. It's like you're not having to worry too much. You kind of just have to enjoy and like kind of like build on your experience in life, just because like college prepares you for life. And I would have to say, like, being involved in VSA, it's a big step. Like, for a lot of people, they see it as a social aspect, but I came into it thinking about as like a growing experience, more or less, where it was like I came in as like one person and I'm gonna leave as a different person, in the sense of like I want to be able to take in everything, kind of just like meet different people, even if I don't like necessarily vibe with them. I feel like first impressions are important, but sometimes someone's just having a bad day, like they might just not want to talk to you that day or something. And I feel like it's good to give things a second chance always. Specifically, if you don't have a good experience your first time, you shouldn't always give up. I feel like college is all about perseverance, and I feel like it's always about pushing yourself to grow and be better every single day, because if you really put your mind to something, you will definitely achieve exactly what you want to do. And I think that's the same with like for a lot of different clubs as well. With VSA, I was just very lucky to be welcomed in with open arms and have such an amazing experience my first year. And I think for a lot of people, what they're scared about is kind of just like stepping into this zone where they don't necessarily know anybody, like where it might seem like it's a very cliquey thing. Going to GVM, everyone knows somebody already, and just sitting by yourself, like people sit and eat lunch alone like all the time. And I feel like it's the same thing with like VSA, where you can definitely go in alone and you might not make friends your first day, but talk to people, put yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid, don't be scared, because everyone's scared of something. Everyone's probably terrified about being there and having to make new friends. So just don't be afraid.
Yeah, but I'm super grateful for everyone that like drew like VSA. I think it's always a good chance, and yeah, just
You know, if you told me that I'd fly to Portland, Oregon for a VSA event, I'd tell you that you're lying.
Yeah.
I would never do such a thing. And here I am. But here I am.
from what you were saying, like as I say, I came to VSA. I did not know anyone, but I'm really grateful that I like put myself out there. Like I try to talk to as many people as I can, so I would be able to find the community that I needed. So very grateful.
I think that we chose really well-spoken people today for our second podcast episode. You guys obviously have been in VSA for, you know, a couple of years now, and so your experience, you know, talking about today made me realize, you know, how grateful I am to be put in this room with you guys and just hearing about, you know, how NAS and VSA has impacted your college experience. But, you know, before we end off this episode, I'd like to thank our guests, Chris, Alvia, and Tommy, for coming on to be a part of the Voices of VSA podcast. And it has been a great pleasure getting to know more about how NAS has impacted your college experience.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also follow up on our latest podcast. Our last one was also up on YouTube. Follow our Instagram at UGA VSA to find out all the details about 9 Saigon 20.
Bye, guys!